Ahoy there, YouTube! I'm back again today for another Kickstarter critique where I take a look at a different Kickstarter tabletop game project every weekday at 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and give my honest thoughts on how that project is being ran. And today, I am very excited to be checking out the 17th most popular project on all of tabletop games right now. I believe it's games right now. That is the Artemis Project, Satellites and Commanders. Powerful satellites and commanders use powerful satellites and commanders to establish the best output in the eagerly awaited expansion to ... Okay, so one thing I like here is that they do mention that this is an expansion. I honestly didn't see that the first time I glanced at it. But other than that, there's just so little I know about this game and why I want this game. I don't know the player count. I don't know the time length. I don't know the age. I don't know if this is a worker placement game or a deck building game. I don't know if this is a children's game or a dexterity game, because you shouldn't just assume that everybody knows what the Artemis Project is. Now, I think it's like a Euro game, but I'm not 100% sure. Also, funded in 12 parsecs. Is a parsec actually a unit, or is that just you being cute? Or I don't even know. Either way, funded in whatever time, I don't care. I'd much rather know about whether you've hit stretch goals, because if you tell me you've hit stretch goals or something like that, then it also lets me know that you're funded and that you have stretch goals. But the main image, it's uninspiring to me. I just see generic space theme, kind of. But, as always, when we go in the video, I'm thinking three things. Do I want it? Can you do it? How much is it? Let's go. Is there sound? Am I missing something? Okay.
Europa, the frozen moon of Jupiter. It took decades to bioform this ball of ice into a place that can just barely support human life. But the effort was worth it to get to the great living oceans below. With the threshold energy shield holding in the warming atmosphere and the doorstep spaceport fully active, teams of stabilizers descend to compete for leadership of this hostile moon. The submerged cavern we call the Pocket conceals all the raw materials you'll need to succeed. The hidden oceans are warmed by thermal vents and teem with alien sea life beyond our wildest dreams. Build your colony under the ice. Explore the surface and the seas beneath, and prove that you have what it...
You're showing me all this stuff and it means absolutely nothing to me. Whoa, that's the doorstep? That's the hangars? Like, none of this means anything to me at all. I still have no idea what I'm really doing in this game. Does this game have cards? Does this game have minis? Does this game have chits? Does this game have a rondelle? So little information is being conveyed to someone who has no idea what the Artemis Project is right now. And I think that's a big, big misstep, to be honest. Because right now, you've just slammed generic theme at me for 50 seconds, and I still have no idea about this game if I don't know anything about the Artemis Project.
Takes to build this new home for humankind.
Oh, that's the board. That's the board. Okay, cool. Looks like it's dice placement or something, maybe? That gets me excited. That gets me super excited.
The Artemis Project begins.
The Artemis Project is a competitive dice placement game where you play as the leader of a colony.
See, and I feel like dice placement should 100% probably be on the marquee if that's the main mechanism. Because honestly, how many people out there, when you say dice placement, are like, dice placement, I hate dice placement. Dice placement sucks. I feel like overall, there's a very high opinion of dice placement.
Of stabilizers, meeting the challenges of Europa's frozen surface and mysterious oceans. Each player runs a colony, but competition is fierce. Players roll their own pool of dice, and then take turns placing them in the various zones of the board. Important locations include the mines, for building materials, the vents, for warming energy, the doorstep, where colonists arrive, the gantry, where you'll construct above and below the ice shelf, and the hangars, where you'll send teams on perilous expeditions.
It's a vehicle. Oh, so that's flavor text. Okay.
Several zones use the innovative exposure mechanism. When placing, your dice go in numerical order from left to right. When harvesting, dice activate from left to right, gaining the amounts they show. If resources run out before your die is counted, you're exposed, and you get nothing. This creates awesome tension between placing high dice to get a lot of something, but dreading exposure as low...
Honestly, first 50 seconds, I hated. Everything since then I think has been fantastic. This looks like a game I absolutely want to play.
lower dice slip in line
Whereas the first 50 seconds is like, okay, generic theme.
ahead of you. Your colony begins with the bare essentials.
Love this right here. End around actions there. This looks like a really nice player board.
Soon enough, you'll build structures
Even the end game bonus points, scoring spots for that's a really nice board.
clinging to the underside of the ice, enhancing your capabilities. Eventually, you'll also build surface structures to earn victory points in different ways. Expeditions will be key to your efforts. Include unassigned colonists to boost your chances of success. Don't get too confident. A variety of rule-bending events, from sea quakes to hailstorms, will add a new wrinkle every round. At the end of the game, you'll score for your resources, your structures, your team of colonists, and your success at expeditions. The greatest colony earns the oversight of the Artemis Project, and will lead the continuing exploration of these alien oceans and the secrets they hold.
Okay. Once we got down to business, that looks like a really cool expansion for a really cool game that I want to check out. I'm not 100% sure. So I think adding the extra cards to the side is what's different about the expansion. But at the end of the day, the bottom line is the main goal should probably be to sell the base game and sell the expansion. Because that's why you see these second print runs, the first expansions, just doing huge gangbuster money a lot of the time. Especially if there's a lot of buzz around the game. So overall, I really like the video when we got down to business. Can you do it? So do I want it? Yes. Can you do it? How much is it? Hopefully get into that. We got Grand Gamers Guild, Dad, Gamer, Publisher. My career in gaming began with AD&D. Is that Dungeons and Dragons? I don't know what the A is for. And I've been playing designer games since 2015. When I first attended Origins and had my mind blown with the help of an amazing team, I have published multiple successful projects via Kickstarter and traditionally, and I will say that Grand Gamers Guild has the best tic-tac-toe variant game, in my personal opinion, ever. The video was of the main game. And then Sean said, is this a relaunch? Swear I saw this before. No way. They didn't just... They wouldn't just regurgitate the same video, would they? So this is Artemis Odyssey. That's something different, I think. Well, we still need to check to make sure people got their stuff. Okay, Belgian, endangered... So the Artemis Project, here we go. I just want to check now, because now yeah.
Ice into a place that
What the hell?
holding in the to
all right.
this
Bold choice, Cotton. Let's see how it pays off. So, that's the exact same video. I feel like I'm a teacher and I just caught someone cheating. Advanced Dungeons & Dragons. Thank you, Sean. That makes a whole bunch of sense. Yeah, that's odd. That's okay. There we go. Anywho, back to the can you do it aspect of it. I do know they have numerous games that are out. And Pocket Ops. That game's fantastic. It's great. You know what? For what it is, I really like it. Anywho, let's make sure all their stuff is out. The Artemis Odyssey, so 17 updates, 262 comments. Doesn't look like a flaming dumpster fire, so I highly doubt that this one is going bad. In My Own Worst Enemy... Little Business, Little Pleasure, Pledge Manager closing. I just want to know if people got their game. Can we get some straightforward update titles here? I'm interested in the new Kickstarter I did, but I missed delivery of the last one. You have not missed fulfillment of the Artemis. All Artemis games and the Satellites Commanders will fulfill together. So, all Artemis games, the original game, the standalone sequel game, and the Satellites and Commanders will fulfill together. So that's really odd. So I think what they're saying is that they're waiting to ship this until they ship the expansion? Project original game, standalone sequel game. Yeah. That's a... Oh, hey, Jeff! That's really odd. Okay. Hey, could we please have an update? Thank you. Coming tomorrow. I want to check my PM status. It look like it's completed. Is it incomplete? Okay, so let's make sure this one is out then. I also do apologize for the groaning child nearby. North American fulfillment update. The Artemis Project is funded. So yeah, fulfillment update. That's what I want to know. Because right now we're just checking to see how many games are still outstanding. The good news of the game. So where is it? Good morning. I'm reaching out with a fulfillment update from QML as follows. Nothing firm yet on the start of fulfillment. We were hoping for the end of the month, but it looks like the pace of the warehouse is going to push this in the beginning of June. Okay. So is this one out? So right now we're looking at 1, 2, this will be 3 projects out. Fulfillment begins now, September 20th. Great. And they haven't said anything else since then. So the customer service here is not the greatest. It doesn't look like. Like, if the fulfillment just began, you would expect something to come after that. Now, granted, there's only 111 people here. So, you know what? I take that back. That's not... Okay. So, it does look like 3 things are outstanding. All right. So can you do it? They've done it before, so I feel kind of comfortable with it. Not 100%, just based on some things like there. Like, there was some stuff there where I keep hearing QML is slammed right now with stuff to ship. I 100% believe it. But anywho, I saw some things there where I was like, all right, there's not necessarily a bad thing, but if things did go bad, you would point to that and you'd be like, oh, yeah. There was some stuff that maybe could have sniffed us off to that. So hopefully this just explodes and they ship everything out. And I always want to assume the best. So can you do it? I feel comfortable-ish. I backed Corinto from them and had no issues. Awesome. And like I said, I've never heard any issues before, but I always just like to do my homework there. So this is the Artemis Project. Your team of stabilizers work hard to establish human life on the frozen moon of Europa with one harsh... So this is out. People have this. Now, new advantages have become available. Satellites and commanders. Orbital platforming lets you affect the situation of the moon. Is this another full-size box expansion? Because if so, that's such a bizarre choice using that video. And just reusing the video and not even mentioning the expansion at all is just odd. And then I see the... And now I hate the main image even more because I see 1 to 5 players. And anytime you're talking about a light to medium weight Euro-y style game that's at that 45-minute to an hour mark, you should be screaming that from the hilltops. Because there's so many games that get capped off at 4 players. And right now, I see this, I'm immediately intrigued. 1 to 5 players, 45 minutes, ages 14 plus. And it's not, like some Azul type non-thematic style game. I'm in. Like, I want to know more. And then you tell me dice placement? So there's so much that I think could have been conveyed on the main image to get me excited right from the jump. And instead we got funded in 12 parsecs. And so I'm not a big fan of the main image there. So, there's even minis? What, there's little minis that come with this? I mean, there's only a couple of them, but still, that's nice, spotlighting that. The Artemis Project Satellite Commanders adds 2 new major opportunities for strategic play to the base game. Satellites orbit the board and allow you access to the hovering chariot space stations, influence the moon below, the ever-increasing effectiveness. Okay, we're talking theme. Want to see where it all began? Click here to visit the Artemis Project. Oh, so this is a 2nd edition. Wow, did you mention this? No, it's not mentioned here at all. Why? It's so odd. Why would you not mention the 2nd edition here, especially if presumably you're going to be selling it? And then you have a 2nd edition rulebook will be posted soon. Ugh. Okay. Changes include no resource fee to send colonists to next edition. So these are actually balancing changes that make the game even better. I think they should have pitched it like this. I think this is actually... I love seeing this, because right now... And that's another thing. I don't feel like they've done a great job spotlighting the original game, but I remember when I was doing... setting up the thumbnail and everything, it was in the top 1,500, I think, games on Board Game Geek. That's fantastic. So if you tell me a top 1,500 game, you're coming back with a 2nd edition, and you're going to streamline, fix a couple things that were some complaints from the 1st edition, and an expansion, that's a slam dunk home run right there. 1 to 5 players with the expansion, and we're streamlining things. And I just don't feel like that's really spotlighted enough in the main spot. Instead of getting 1 or 2 cool kits there, start player selection, new system, scoring tweaks, player aid cards. Oh my gosh, there weren't player aid cards before, and now there are. That's fantastic. 2nd edition rulebook will be posted here soon. I'd like to see that sooner rather than later. Oh, can I click on it? Is that it? No, that's to take me back to the original product. Why would I want to go there? In the box. The Kickstarter edition of Satellites and Commanders includes all the enhancements noted below. Whether you see the blue background and the Kickstarter symbol, this is an upgrade to the Kickstarter version. Okay. So 12 chariot tiles, and we have stretch goals. So once again, I go back to the parsecs thing, and I say to myself, yeah, why? Tell me something more useful than a joke. Spot UV coating on the Kickstarter box. 4 new expedition cards with expansion-specific rewards. That's hot. 8 commander pawns. Those look good. The 5 satellite days. The 1 academic overlay card. 4 new event cards. 12 new building tiles. In the box. Retail edition. They're saying what's different between the retail edition and this one. So the UV coating, don't care. And the 3D satellites, do care. I mean, that's cool. I also wasn't necessarily looking at this as a retail game, necessarily. I don't think you're... Oh, so, okay. I don't know. So $30. This gets you the expansion. $99 gets you the base game and the expansion. $179 gets you the base game, the expansion, and the spin-off game. $249 gets you the prototype. Who the hell... I'm sure this is going to get taken. And this is just me talking as someone who has quite literally had to throw away just... I'm not exaggerating here. Hundreds of pounds of prototypes in my 10 years of covering games. And it's so bizarre to me. But hey, I'm sure this is going to get taken by some diehard fans, and why not? Why not? Plus, they get the original one, too, so it's just like they're getting it early. And I see this all the time on video games. It's just early access, 5 specific people. So let's check out the links. I will say, I do like the fact they're getting straight down to business on the price. They only spotlighted the components in the base box, though, which I think was a little bit of a misstep, especially if you're primarily going to be trying to sell me on this $99 level, or better yet, this $179 level. Why not spotlight all the components and what exactly goes on in this? You know, if you want me to buy it, sell it to me. Don't just throw it there. So $5 sitting on the fence. Oh, that's the retailer, so 7 retailers. We have 581 people getting the expansion. So you got nearly 600 print run in just that's awesome. The expansion plus the base game, 35. Wow. That's really not high. And that's really unfortunate because honestly, that tells me 100% that they're not really reaching people who didn't know about this game. 581 people came and were like, yeah, love the original game, gotta get this one, and they're in. That's a great number too. And then 35, and maybe it gets better when they offer everything. Maybe that's it. 24, no. So that's a 59 print run of that second edition. That's not a huge chunk. That scares me a little bit. Eek 250, big nope. Yeah, that's the other thing too. Well, yeah, but that's the prototype. But this one right here, this is 59, 59, 59 pretty much. And, oh wait. So this is, so it's an $80 jump. So the Artemis, so once again, and you're trying to sell me the Artemis Odyssey, and it's an $80 jump, and I know absolutely nothing about the Artemis Odyssey. Like, and maybe you're going to tell me more down here, but I don't feel like we're front-loading this very well. So then the sold out, the prototype. Yeah, so 5 people. They wanted the early access. Good for them. I'd get rid of this now that's not available, but I see that it's included on there. Stretch goals. Fantastic. We hit stretch goals. Love that. Stretch goals are bonuses that we add to your game. We hit it. So hooray. We have our funding. A new chariot. That's fantastic. We had the waypointer chariot titled to the game. So here's the thing. If you know all the information on the waypointer, I would zoom in on this. Especially as a fan of the game, now I'm more excited because I know exactly what the waypointer does. I say, oh, that's cool. That's going to be an interesting crinkle in the game, and I'm more excited for this game. And as someone who's new, maybe I read this and I say, oh, now I kind of get more of a grasp of what these things do. But instead, it's zoomed way out, and it doesn't do either of those. So new building, we add two Power Council buildings to the game. Fantastic. Then say two new buildings. Right? We had 2 Power Council buildings to the game. So yeah, I mean, if you're giving me more than one, tell me. New events, new expedition. So these are micro stretch goals as well. So if this thing were to catch fire, like this box could be out of control. You know, but unfortunately, I just don't feel like they're appealing to the new people. How to play. So essential gameplay, gaming control of a satellite. So now we're going into the weeds a little bit more on what this expansion does, which I think would have been a great to maybe end the video on. All right, promoting a colonist to commander, using your commanders. What am I looking for here? Click here to dig into the rule booklet. Feeling crafty, print and play? Nope. Reviews and previews. Love the versatility of the commanders. So once again, I go to reviews and previews, and it looks like it's all on the old stuff. And I don't feel like that's great, and I think that's why there's only 59 people buying the second edition of the game, because you're not selling it, and that just seems. That seems counterproductive. Love the versatility that the commanders bring to the Artemis Project in this new expansion. Okay, I like versatility. And click on it, gets to you. Awesome. I really enjoy the new commanders that they offer so much flexibility to your workforce. New materials keep the game tight while also adding more choices and flexibility to the mix. So it's kind of like that quote, but better. It's a pretty simple expansion, but definitely changes the way the game plays. Why? That's the best thing that they said that you pulled out of there? It changes the way the game plays. Yeah, I would hope so. It's an expansion. Well, I guess not. Some expansions just do that. I don't know. I don't feel like that's a really solid quote. Ahoy there, noob party. Satellites Commanders is exactly the kind of thing I like adding to my games. More powers and ability. It took a good game and made it better. I feel like these are also opposites of each other. This one's saying, hey, it changes the way the game plays. This one's like, no, it's just more of the same. Not a fan of the quotes here. Satellite Commanders improve on an already fantastic game. It's a must-have addition to anyone who already owns the Artemis Project. So this one literally is finally the first one that mentions how awesome the original game is. But then it doesn't tell me anything about this new expansion, so it's just fluff. It's just fluff. Our team, shipping fees, all right. Local pickup in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Awesome. Love the fact they offer that. China, Hong Kong, United Kingdom, United States. Lumping them all together. Like I just started with China there. And it's not... Oh, I guess it's in alphabetical order, but the majority of the people here from just the United States. But $12, $19.25. I'm getting all 3 boxes. That's the other thing. I don't really have a firm grasp on the size of these boxes, which is always just not great, and then we're done. Okay. Shipping, do we cover VAT? VAT tax will be calculated based on your region. Will be charged in the pledge manager, so you will not have to pay your mailman. All right, so let's check out the FAQ, the updates, the comments. Let's give this one a grade. That shipping seems steep. It does. It does not seem like a great price, and that makes me wonder the size of the box. And that's why I think it's just so important, because I'm pretty sure the size of this box is larger. I think it's like a pandemic-sized box, but bigger. Not quite Vitalis Serta size box, if you're familiar with Eagle Griffin Games and Vinnyhost and stuff like that. But I think it's somewhere in between there. But yeah, I don't feel like it seems like a great shipping price. And I know shipping prices suck all around, but when you check out shipping prices every day, some suck less than others. What's the deal with the Artemis Project 2.0? Okay, that's the only question. We made some tweaks to Artemis, and that will be included in the new printing. If you pledge for the Artemis Project as part of the Artemis Odyssey campaign or this campaign, you'll get the most updated version. If you pledge the original Artemis Project campaign or purchase it retail, you may want to purchase the upgrade pack in the pledge manager. And so that's the other thing, too. I look at this, and the fact that that's not a pledge level here, I think is also kind of annoying, just to your fans, your main fans. That it's not like, hey, the expansion plus the upgrade that brings it to, and maybe you charge an extra $5-10, whatever that is, but pitching that, because you immediately said right from the jump, hey, second edition, here's what's new. Yeah, so I'm just not a fan of a lot of the things in this project. Updates. So, May 18th, this was yesterday. Sunrise on Europa, it's a beautiful day. Good morning, citizens of Europa. Yesterday was a great day with us funding in just about 10 hours and seeing another 10% coming overnight. That puts us within striking distance of our stretch goal. Very exciting. While it's absolutely wonderful to see day one funding, I have to admit that I'm a bit disappointed in myself, wondering where I went wrong, because to be completely honest, I expected more. When I decided I wanted additional content for the Artemis Project, I knew that we had a really strong game with lots of design space for a hungry audience. Well, you should have told people that. You didn't. I don't feel like this project in any way, shape, or form sold me on the Artemis Project, much less the Artemis Project expansion. And it's very clear to me, for those who know, that this is the case. But the reasons I don't understand, runaway success continues to elude me. I realize that in many ways, I march to the beat of my own drummer, and I'm grateful to be able to do that. However, I also think that I do the things that are necessary to see success in our space, and yet not so much. Are my expectations too high? Perhaps. I don't think so. I do not. And there's always this hard, fast test I give myself here. And this is one of the worst things, and I say it, and I hate to say it, but if you put an extra 0 in here, would you be absolutely shocked? And for this project, I say if I put an extra 0 in here, I would not be absolutely shocked. Because I do think this is a top 1,500 game getting a second edition and a print run, and you can also potentially purchase this third spin-off game that's absolutely amazing. And it's got probably great reviews. It's probably won awards. I'm sure there's fantastic quotes about it. And it wasn't... What a weird update. It is a little bit of a weird update, but I gotta say, I appreciate the transparency. I like that, and I think people like that as well. If I'm back in this project, and this person's, bearing their heart and soul, I say, all right, they care. And I want somebody to care. My promise to you, this campaign will not be canceled. Dang, throwing down the gauntlet. We have reached our funding goal. For 6 years, I've delivered on my promises. I don't intend to stop now. We all know of Kickstarter companies who, despite making hundreds of thousands of dollars, say it's not enough. Shots fired, and I love it. Fire more. Pull their project and figure out how they can make more. I'm unsure if there's wisdom or folly in this. Granted, that being said, a lot of times, that's just because they were dishonest about their funding goal, and then they realized, oh, shnikes, we're probably going to go out of business if we are not careful. But I know that but once again, you put yourself in that position by creating your funding goals, I think, and creating overextending. We talk about people overextending. I think the same thing could be said of a lot of Kickstarter companies. But I know that to do what would not be true who I am. I am a nose to the grindstone, head down, ever forward kind of guy, and so we will forge forward for 16 more days and achieve whatever heights we can. I am proud of this project. I'm going to make it for you, the folks who say they want it with their incredible words of support and hard-earned dollars. So here's the other thing, too. Why don't you ask them? There's a very good chance the hundreds of people here could be like, hey, maybe this, maybe that, because they browse Kickstarter. I'm sure you got super backers in here. You're not actually reaching out. You're just kind of talking to. If there's anything you think I could do to keep moving forwards, I'm all ears. Please comment below or email. Okay, so there it is. There it is. I would bold that. Some personal business. This afternoon, I have a routine medical procedure scheduled, yet it was not smart to launch a Kickstarter the day before this. I had to expand a lot of energy while being on a liquids-only fast since 8 a.m. yesterday. All this to say, while I tried to get all your comments and questions as quickly as possible today, I love the transparency here, by the way. After 12 p.m., I will be out of commission until Thursday morning. Please understand that my silence is not my choice. What's next? Despite my lamentations above, we are, as of this 3A writing, I think it's 3M, less than $600 for the next stretch goal, a new chariot. This is pretty cool, and I have every belief that we will hit it before long. I'm grateful to everyone. I'm a bought the game in retail backer, though retail is not quite right, as I actually made a beeline for your standard Essen. Best I can offer is I'll go visit our local gaming do some gamers. Okay. So he's saying, yeah, I'm going to play this game with more people, because once people play it, they're going to love it, because it's a 45-minute dice placement game. Like, just those words by themselves. 45-minute dice placement game. Top 1,500 45-minute dice placement game. That's like selling candy to board gamers. It's just, those are beautiful words. Sorry about the surgery situation. Thanks for the update. I'm curious to see how many stretch goals we will see. I wish you a speedy recovery. Thanks for your honesty, and I would beat yourself up too much. Times are really odd right now. While I know you deliver on your promise, a lot of people have been getting burned by other campaigns. Recently, Simon shipping made huge waves through Kickstarter backers, and I think publishers are going to be feeling it for a year or so. So if anything, okay, so they're getting some great feedback here. And once again, he asked a question, and he was very transparent. And as a result, 25 comments, 27 hearts. And that's what you really strive for. You need the engagement. Because this thing's probably going to start slipping. And once it starts slipping down in the popularity chart and in the magic chart, it's less likely that people are going to see it. So I think this update definitely could help in getting people engaged. So awesome on that. Any chance to get the promos for the Dice Tower this one? How much is a second upgrade pack? Okay. What is the Galileo edition? What is the Odyssey edition? Here we go. Yeah, what is this? What are these things? Why would I buy these? Yeah, I don't feel like that was just pitched nearly well enough. So, final grade for the Artemis Project, satellites, and commanders. Do I want it? Yes, I do. In spite of the pretty generic and boring main image that I was not a fan of at all, despite the fact that there's 50 seconds was nothing but theme, where I was just like, come on, get to the point. Despite the fact that you used the same video, which is just such an odd choice. Especially not to add on at the end about the expansion. Or maybe you did and I missed it, but no, I don't think so. We're just not... So you're showing me the original game, but then, I don't know. It's just so weird. But do I want it? Yes. Can you do it? Yes, but, I mean... Yes, I feel comfortable. You still got $26,000. You have the last project, which did pretty well as well, I think, didn't it? Yeah, so 1,200 backers. That's great. That's a great number of backers. I mean, it's not shattering the industry or anything like that. That's great. Okay, so can you do it? Yes, but a little nervous. How much is it? Price is... Just for the expansion, $42 seems reasonable, I think. I don't know quite how size this box is. You know, there's just some things I don't know. I don't know the size of the base box really well, which makes that price a little bit harder to swallow. But at the end of the day, the price level that I think most people, you would hope they would be looking at, is the $99, and you're getting a top 1,500 game and the expansion. And I say, that's reasonable. That feels like MSRP. It really does. 60 and the 40. Not to mention when you add the shipping on top, that feels, yeah, because then it's up to 100. So then you're looking at 60-60. And then I start really, pointing my eye to that expansion. I'm like, well, it's a $30 expansion, but I'm paying 60. Wait, is that right? Because it's, yeah. I don't know. I don't feel like the game or the size of the game or a lot of things were really well sold on this project, unfortunately. So do I want it? Yes. Can you do it? Yes. How much is it? Is yes. Which in theory should mean that, how much is it? Is not really great. So, final grade for this one. I wasn't amazed. Like, I didn't feel like I was sold on I didn't feel like I was sold on the expansion or the base game very well. I know I was not sold on the standalone expansion, the standalone game period. And sub 100 second edition print run scares me. Yeah, that too. But the other thing is, you also have to factor in this one where they also had the binary star bundle, which comes with, I believe, the second edition. So there's 252 as well. So that's still a 310 print run for a pretty big game like that. Yeah, that scares me. It's just scary numbers. I hate to be that kind of person talking about that, but that's this segment. Final grade. I did not feel like the Artemis Project Satellites and Commanders was very well sold to me. I didn't feel like anything was well sold to me. I didn't feel like the main image was inspiring and making me want to click. The video, I just dragged on for the first 50 seconds. Once you got down to the business, the game looks fantastic. It's a top 1,500 dice placement game. It goes up to 5 players. It's 45 minutes. All these things just should be a home dog slam run. Flip those. and I just don't think they are, and I'm going to give this project, I think, a D. I don't know. I'm trying to think of why I would give it a D+. Like, everything's here. Shipping section is okay. I mean, yeah, this is nice. I think you know what? I take it back. I think they did an okay job sending the games to the original crowd that had the base game. But for everybody new, not at all. So I'm going to go with a D+ on this. I did not particularly feel it was a great project, which sucks because this game looks really stinking cool. But that is the Artemis Project, Satellites and Commanders. Let me know in the comments below what is your final grade for this project. Also, if you enjoyed this content, please be sure to click on that subscribe button down below and subscribe to reach 10,000 subscribers to celebrate my 10-year anniversary of making YouTube content, and also the fact I had a new baby down here who's been oh so quiet and fantastic. She's such a good girl. So say bye-bye, Amelia. Bye-bye.